Resident Evil 7 on iOS, since it launched, I don't know how long it's been launched. July 2nd, I guess is when it launched.
It's relatively new.
Yeah, it's earned $28,000. And that's it.
Yeesh.
Well, to be fair, it was super under the radar.
Yeah.
And also, how does it run? I mean, that's a
I don't know.
Pretty.
It's a $20.
It's also kind of an old game. I don't know.
Like it's a $20 buy-in. They got their money obviously because Apple probably paid for them to come over and develop on the platform and blah blah blah. But yeah, 2,000 paying customers is what they've gotten for that.
This is always really weird to me in the mobile space. I find that there's only one way that I want to monetize mobile games, which is kind of interesting. And I've got the board for you.
Oh, the board.
Let's do it.
Yeah, the board. So there's a couple different ways of monetizing mobile.
It's like a Toy Story. The board.
Yeah, you've got your pay up front, where you just buy the game, right? Pay up front, and people do this, and they're like, cool, I can buy the game. And a lot of people are like, I don't want to buy it. It's mobile game. I want a free mobile game, right? Then you've got your free side of stuff. And the free side of stuff kind of has your pay to win shit. You've got ads. And I break down pay to win into two different camps. You've got your siren, which is like, they don't put you in a direct situation where you have to pay, but you could be a little bit more powerful. Just come over here to the rocks and pay $5. I'll give you a sword. That sword's a little bit stronger than what you got right now.
Yeah.
That's the kind of siren, right? And then you've got the Kraken. And the Kraken is one of those games that's like, hey, I'm going to give you a shield for 3 days. And when that shield runs out, you got to pay me money or people are going to PvP you and shit all over your town. And like we force you into a scenario where you're fighting against pay to win players or you don't get to keep playing. That's your Kraken. Once you're emotionally invested. Yep. Raw pay to win shit. So those are the two pay to win ones. If your game is pay to win, I'm out. I don't play your game. Like I just uninstall that shit. I'm done. I don't think I've ever bought a pay up front game. I know people do on mobile, but I find it to be less common. Under ads, there's a couple different ways to do this. If your game has a full screen ad and it pops up on me, I uninstall your game before the ad finishes. I don't even care. I don't even care how much enjoyment I was having. It's dead to me. That's awful, awful shit.
Sure.
And then you've got the banner ad. If there's a banner ad and there's a menu near it, where you have the game's
for
menu near it,
yeah,
they're hoping you hit the misclick. I uninstall your game because I know exactly what you're doing, and that's shitty behavior. There's one way to monetize this that I find to be good, and it's the fairy ad. It's a little object that'll fly around the screen, and when you click on it, it goes, hey, do you want to watch an ad? Because if you do, I'll give you 500 gold. And if you don't, that's fine too. This is respectful to the player. This asks them to be part of the decision to do this. The dev is getting money out of it. The player knows what they're doing to support the dev. And the player gets a kickback in the form of a reward in-game in some way for doing that. Everybody knows what's going on. Everyone decides if they want to do this. I like that model. And that's the only model that I really back. And if you see games like Egg Inc. that are out there, they do exactly that. It's exactly that model.
Doesn't that greatly cater to people who have more time, though, and like really attack casual gamers?
I don't think it really attacks casual gamers because casual gamers will sit down and they'll be like, oh, I got to watch an ad. All right, I'm going to hit the button to put the ad. I'm going to put my phone down for a moment. I'm going to come back in a minute. I'm going to have a reward. And I've seen it a lot.
What if you only have like a very limited amount of time to play? And if you compare that from a casual, like somebody watching ads and somebody
you can say no on it.
Be palpably stronger.
You can actually just say no on those. And to be real with you, a lot of these, there's a limit, right? If the main progression source is you have to watch ads, then it's gone too far, and that does happen.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
Games that do that.
So you're saying if the game is designed where that 500 gold is necessary, then you would say even in that case the fairy would be not a okay.
Yeah,
that was what
if it's
I was
necessary. If you have to watch the ad to progress, then you've gone too far. If you don't have to watch the ad to progress, if it's just a little bit of a bonus, then it's fine. I don't have any problem with it. Never had an issue.
Just out of curiosity, how do you feel from more a game design perspective? If like the game itself is designed to where that extra 500 gold will be like sizably increase, like basically punishing people that don't watch the ads.
I think that's a problem. I think that's always going to be a problem. And I have seen games that do that. And when you do that, it starts to feel like, oh, I'm just watching ads to play the game.
Yeah.
And there are games that will do that. And when it feels that way, I go, at first I thought you were trying to do something that was equal benefit, where I felt good about this and you felt good about this. But now I see that balance of power is tipped towards you, and I'm just here ad farming, and then I uninstall the game. You have to be cognizant of the way that you feel when you're playing these types of games. You have to be cognizant of how you feel as a player, and if you feel that you're being valued as a player, or if you're being valued as an ad farm. And once that equation tips, you have to make the decision yourself to walk away from it. And I've done that a lot, man. Like I play mobile games all of the time. And that's the most fair model that I've seen, is specifically doing those fairy ads and doing it in a way where it's not treating the player like shit.
Oh, go ahead.
I feel like super old. Like the games that the very few games that I've bought on my mobile devices, my phone and my tablet and shit like that, albeit it's not a lot, but I gladly pay like sometimes even double what they're charging to never have ads so I can just play the fucking game.
You know what really
and you said like
me?
not a lot of people do that, and that just fucking boggles me.
Yep. You'd be amazed. You can see it all across the mobile market as people don't like to pay up front of those because they see mobile as a free gaming space. They see that as I download a game and I play it for free. And I think it's a perception thing for that. I'll give you an example. I've got a number of friends who make games on mobile, and they moved to Steam. They sell the exact same game that they had on mobile that just did shit on mobile. They put it for $3 on Steam, and they're like, I made $100,000 in a month. And it's just because they put it up on Steam.
Perception.
And people are willing to buy a game on Steam that they're not willing to buy on mobile. It's the same game. Nothing is different. And like that's the biggest thing about it, man.
It's one of the things I really like how you equated that to, because again, same line of thinking is the value. I mean, I'll do that in games even without the monetization, but all of that factors directly into, is this game valuing my time? Be it through the monetization, the way it's spinning my wheels, what it's making me do. But yeah, that's a super good way to look at that.
Yeah.
Like an example of this is I recently started playing Hoyoverse games, right? So like I played Honkai Star Rail and I played ZZZ. And I was like, oh, it's a gacha game. Here we go. It's going to be a bunch of bullshit, right? Like I was not interested in this. I kind of wanted to rip it apart. So I played Honkai Star Rail, and they popped up an ad 2 hours into the game. And I was like, Jesus Christ, it begins. Like, here it goes. And I just kept playing it because I was like, I wonder how egregious this gets. They didn't show me another one for 200 hours. I kept playing the game for 200 hours and never saw another ad.
Yeah.
And I had all the characters unlocked. I never paid a dime for any of that, didn't do any of it. And so I paid them $10 because I realized I was like, you've treated me with respect as a player, where I felt like my time was valued. I didn't feel like I was pressed upon to do this. So I bought something specifically because I want to support that behavior as a developer. And I've seen the same kind of behavior for ZZZ. So I have a lot of respect for that. I do. Doesn't mean they're always going to be good like that. They may fall on their face. Companies do all the time. But for every game that these companies release, I make that decision. Do I feel valued? Do I feel like my time is valued? Or do I feel like I'm being coerced into buying something in a free-to-play space?